Hi, I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm your other host, Bobby.
And this is
Amores Patos.
Where we have fun and talk about
Duck facts.
duck lore.
Duck reality TV.
And Ducktales. Welcome to our, I'm gonna fuck it up again, 4th episode, technically, reviewing the 3rd episode of Ducktales.
Yes, because of the beginning, that was too long.
Our premiere review having been split in two.
Yeah.
You know all this. So this is our recap of The Great Dime Chase. We're doing this the same day as the Day Trip of Doom episode, so we're in the music room again.
But a different
one. Cause
there's a bigger room.
Yeah.
Still a piano.
We're still on the ground.
Yeah.
Because there's no table. These practice rooms are for practicing piano. So. Yeah.
We're just taking advantage of the space, really.
The soundproof room.
Yeah. Well, sort of, because you can still sort of hear people in the back.
If you hear musical instruments, it's because we're surrounded by other practice rooms where people are playing instruments, not making podcasts. Because they don't have podcasts or roommates who they live in close quarters with. Thank you. So this is the 3rd episode.
Yes. The Great Dime Chase.
Yeah, this is a really good episode.
I think
my favorite so far of the episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had 3.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite.
It was really good. It has a lot of,
good stuff.
It has a lot of good gags that I'm a fan of.
Yeah. So, this is a Louie and Dewey episode. There's no Huey whatsoever.
Still, Louie has gone off. When will he be back from war? We don't know.
Next episode.
Yeah, true. Still, though.
There's more Huey than the other two in the next episode. But yeah, where is he?
He's been gone.
Yeah. This episode starts with, Louie watching TV.
Yes,
and chilling, being very lazy. And, Scrooge is wandering in.
Yeah, he's
to
just
see what he's doing.
By, yeah.
And Louie's watching a reality TV show
called Ottoman Empire,
which kills me. They make Ottomans.
Yeah, it's 2 twins, right?
Yeah, Johnny and Randy, I think, who were roosters.
Yeah.
I know one of them's name's Randy. Who were roosters. And so Louie's puts a bunch of little funny gags, like Louie the Pep, he's drinking Pep, which is a reference to the original series episode, The Big Flub, I think, where Fenton Crackshell promotes this thing called Pep that's a chewing gum that fills you with helium or something. It makes you float.
It makes you float. Yeah. It makes you awesome. I don't know.
Well, it makes them float. That's the bad side. That's the side effect. So in this one, the soda's called Pep. Very cute reference.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. And, Louie is only drinking the first sip.
Yeah, he has, 6 cans.
6 cans, and he only likes the first sip, because it has peak carbonation.
What?
And, Scrooge is, getting more and more annoyed with his laziness. His phone is dead, so he just throws it in the trash. I'll get a new one.
And he's like, oh, why are you getting mad? We're rich.
Yeah.
And then that's when Scrooge,
he's
loses it.
I'm rich. He's like, I'm going to show you the value of a hard day's work.
Yeah.
You're going to the office with me. And he just drags Louie up by the hoodie.
Yeah, he keeps doing that. Yeah. It's the best thing
It's a cute
ever.
Gag. He'll either just with his hand or with his cane pull him by the hood of his hoodie.
I love that his cane is just, grappling.
Yeah. He doesn't need to walk.
No.
Which is funny. Meanwhile, Dewey is, on mission to find out what happened to Della. So we're back to Della.
Mm-hmm.
So one episode with no mention. And here we're right back to it. Dewey wants to know what happened to his mother.
Yeah.
Now that he knows there's so much stuff he doesn't know. That she adventured with Donald and Scrooge, apparently.
Everything's the case has been cracked open. Did he even know there was a case?
Yeah.
And now there's a case.
And so he kind of snoops in Webby's room.
Yeah.
To try to find information on her.
I was like, is it her room or her office? I couldn't see a bed.
Yeah. So there's a ladder thing. Maybe her bedroom is up there.
True.
Because we see it's she has like a library in there, and it's like her big conspiracy board.
Yeah.
And some toys and stuff, but no bed.
Yeah, and pinned. I don't think we had mentioned that pinned next to the conspiracy board is the old Webby doll.
Yes, yeah, pinned with an arrow.
Yeah.
Her Quacky Patch doll. It looks like wearing their Webby outfit from the original series.
Oh, she's dead.
Old Webby's dead. Episode 2 of Duckworth Watch. Sorry, coming in. Episode 2, Duckworth Watch, still no Duckworth.
Still no Duckworth. He's still dead.
He's still dead.
Still haunting the mansion.
So Dewey's here snooping, trying to find information on Della, and we learn that Webby has been trying to find information on Della for years.
Yeah.
And the only thing that Dewey, Huey, and Louie have of their mother is a photograph that Donald gave them. A really cute photograph. It's
so cute.
It's Della shoving Donald's face in their birthday cake.
I was like, holy shit, like, that's peak.
It was great. It also gives us a clue into what their interactions must have been like. Like, they must have been close. So I'm ready to learn what the horrible thing that happened.
And, like, the thing that got to me is that, like, because Dewey goes to get the journal, right?
Yeah, this journal that Webby has. With, like, glitter and shit.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's adorable. And then he, like, Webby's like, oh, what do you want to know? This and that, whatever. And then Dewey's like, what do you know about my mom? And, like, he says it, like, so softly in contrast to how Webby is. And she's like, oh, I'll help you, you know?
So the only thing they have of her is that photograph. It has Donald wearing his classic blue sailor suit, and we see their mother, Della, in, like, a pilot's uniform.
Yeah, so it's, like, confirmed now?
Yeah, that she's a pilot. We see more of her, pictures of her later. And I had a thought. Della photo. Yes, and so this photo is the only thing that the nephews have of their mother. And according to Donald, all he ever told them about Della was that she was gone. Yeah,
so like, how long has it been?
Yeah, because we know that Donald's been raising them since they were like walking age.
Yeah.
So their whole lives.
Exactly. Like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Fuck
so.
No. I like how Webby just takes the photo, though. Like, here is my most treasured.
Whoop, mine! Snatch! And she puts in her Della Duck file, which has only that in it. Because, so Webby's been looking for years, there's been nothing. And apparently, there's no record of Della anywhere. That she says that when a piece of junk mail with Della's name on it came to the house, Scrooge bought the post office.
Yeah, and they never saw the mailman ever again.
So Scrooge murdered a mailman.
Rip.
Potentially. And I thought that really surprised me that, like, Scrooge bought the post office.
Yeah, like, has he bought other people off to, like, not talk about her?
Yeah. So, we get more into, like, Scrooge's, like, without seeing Scrooge's response and reaction to Della's disappearance.
Exactly.
We get more of
intense.
that. Yeah. And so, Dewey recruits Webby to help him find out about his mother.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the intro.
Yeah, we get Launchpad
for
2 beautiful seconds. There's this like goofy like drum beat thing that plays whenever we see Launchpad.
I'll try to put it in here.
It's really cute. And so he crashes multiple times in his limo. He's dropping off Scrooge, Louie, Webby, and Dewey at the money bin. Yeah. He crashes multiple times. You hear him crash in the back.
As he leaves. All I have in my notes here is gone too soon.
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Yeah, we for like 2 seconds. And so Scrooge goes with Louie up to his office.
Exactly. And then Dewey and Webby have gone off to the bathroom, supposedly.
To the bathroom. Quote. When really they're going to Scrooge's private library, his his archive room, which is in the money bin. It's like one of the lower levels.
Yeah. And he, like, Scrooge hooks Louie.
Yeah, he takes him by the hoodie again, upstairs. I think, do we get the Webby and Dewey stuff first? According to my notes, we do.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah, so they go to Scrooge's private library where we meet Quackfaster, Scrooge's archivist, who is really great.
She's so extra.
Every new character we get in this episode is nuts.
It's insane. It's really I love it.
Quackfaster is a reference to the Don Rosa comics. It's a reference to Scrooge's secretary in those comics. Her name is Quackfaster. And this, she's a nutso archivist, which I love.
I love her hair.
Yeah, her hair looks... I can't even describe it. It's like a Super Saiyan hair.
Yeah, but like down?
Like lower.
Yeah,
lower than Super Saiyan hair and like grayish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a headband?
Yeah. Headband and glasses and stuff. And we learned that Webby's been trying to get into this library for years.
Yeah, poor girl.
But only people who are members of Scrooge's family can go in, and which Dewey, of course, is.
Yeah.
And we get a nice reference to, like, Scrooge's past, in that Quackfester calls Dewey heir of Clan McDuck.
Yeah.
That was very nice. So,
like
more little nods to, like, the McDuck clan, the McDuck ancestors back in Scotland, which we'll hopefully be seeing, which we almost certainly will be seeing more of, because this show's all about that.
Family roots.
Yeah. And
all
then,
that good stuff. She's so, like, the way she said it, though, it's like, you've been rehearsing this,
yeah,
probably.
she, like, announced, she, like, throws open the doors, and, like, welcome!
Yeah.
Like...
this has been rehearsed. She's ready.
Oh, yeah. And then, we get Louie and Scrooge.
Yes.
Up, in Scrooge's office. Or, like, his office. Yeah, they're in his office. Because of the money bin. And, well, first, Scrooge...
Is he talking about...
The dime.
Yeah, the dime.
She starts telling Louie about it.
Yeah. Louie isn't interested at all. He's very enchanted by the money, you know? As I would too. Like,
yes, like an ocean of money.
Yeah.
And, while Scrooge is in the middle of trying to tell him about his number one dime, which is on the pedestal under the glass thing.
In a velvet pillow, as we learn later.
Louie tries to go jump into the money from the highest point.
He's gone. Like, he's legit gone.
Like, he jumps. He falls, like, a couple feet before Scrooge follows him out.
Yeah, and he, like, hooks him.
Barely grabs him.
He grabs him. He would have died.
Yeah, they acknowledge the fact you would die if you jumped into this thing. Because...
It just makes me, like, wonder, like, because Scrooge says, like, oh, I've had, like, practice, like, I worked muscle. It's like, how? What's the training process for this, like, Scrooge? Do you have classes? I want to learn how to, like, swim in metal.
In money. Because in the original series and in the comics, they'd have, like, the bad guys would jump into the money bin, or even the kids would jump into the money bin and been like, ow, my head. But it's, like, very cartoony. It's like, but I love that this, even though this is still very much a cartoon, there's still that aspect of realism.
Yeah,
if you jumped 100 feet into a bin full of money, you would die.
You will die. You're not gonna make, like, a hole in the shape of your body. Like, you will die.
You would crack your head open and die.
Yeah, fuck.
Which is hilarious, and I love that they acknowledge that finally.
I know, fuck.
But, so instead he drags Louie to, apparently he learns that he has a board meeting.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not really sure that we had one.
He's like, we don't have one today, but alright.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, Louie, you're gonna learn about the fast-paced world of business.
And then it's like, no. Three old
vultures talking about, like, how profits are down in, these are all references, to things, I don't know all of them. There's Dawson, Lilyhammer, El Dorado, and Culebra.
Ooh.
The Dawson, it's the town near the Klondike where Scrooge first made his fortune. Ooh. Like his fortune. And the rest, I forget. Like, they all sound very familiar.
Yeah.
And so I'm 100% certain they're references to things in the comics or the original series.
Yeah, probably.
They're cities and places and stuff.
I was like, I should probably know what these are, but I don't know, so.
I know Dawson. And then...
The best entrance in the world.
Like the bored vultures are in the middle of talking when
the baddest bitch bursts in to the door, demands attention.
Shut up, everyone! I've done something brilliant.
Gyro's literally like, shut up 5.
Yeah.
A 10 is speaking.
It's so good.
It was really good. I love this new Gyro.
Same. He
has personality.
He does.
Just like everyone else, he has a real personality now.
Yeah, like, you know, like I've been saying, like, he can actually be your favorite because OG Gyro is sad.
He was just kind of, I got this invention, let's hope it doesn't turn evil.
Yeah, it always did.
Yeah, but he never had a reaction to that.
No.
He was just like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Like, another invention turned evil and tried to take over the world, or kill my boss, or kill my boss's nephews.
Fuck. The fucking Robotica. Which we see a reference to later.
Yeah.
it's the worst because he makes this killer robot.
This weird, sexy killer robot. And then just leaves.
And then he gets sort of, like, annoyed that it gets destroyed.
When they blow her up in the end, she blows herself up.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to kill people.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, what have you done? Like, what the hell, Gyro?
You left!
This thing has trying to seduce, like, Gizmo Duck. It's a mess here.
It's a mess of an episode.
Yeah. And also, like, his voice makes me think, like, what is this chicken's age? Is he an old man?
He has bright red hair.
Yeah.
But he sounds super old.
Super old.
And tired.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't have much personality.
No,
He's just kind of like...
He's the gadget man. Yeah.
Oh, fine. It's my great pleasure to present a state-of-the-art, fully automatic, and totally indestructible security system.
What, behind the van?
No, it is the van.
He has one episode where he has a bit of personality.
Mm-hmm.
The Gyro the Gear Loose episode. I think episode 16 of the original series.
Something like that. I know that you didn't have it in your recommended list, though.
I didn't. My bad, Gyro. It's not a bad episode, but Gyro just isn't super interesting.
He's just kind of always there. And then I feel like sometimes they're like, they forget that they have this, like,
they forget
gadget
they
man.
have this genius guy.
Yeah.
Like, but so Gyro just isn't, like, I never found him super interesting. My dad remembered him. My dad still remembered him, though. From when he watched Ducktales back in the 80s. In Spanish, his name is Ciro Piraloca.
I hate it. The names in Spanish are funny, some of them.
Rico McPato.
Yeah, like, you're so basic.
Rich Duck.
Yeah, Rich Duck.
Rich McDuck.
Rich McDuck.
Rich McDuck is Scrooge's name in Spanish.
Which was funny, because, like, as I've been, like, watching this, like, I would watch it on my TV, and then my brother would watch it with us sometimes, and, like, I would ask my parents, like, oh, like, do you remember watching this? And my mom was like, yeah, like, I do remember, like, Pato Aventuras. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, so like, this happened, whatever. And then my brother is a really cheap man.
Yeah.
He's younger than me. He's cheap. So, like, now they just call him that. They're like, Rico McPato. And I'm like, my God. But yeah.
So this new Gyro is super great. He's very full of himself.
He is.
He's totally full of himself.
He is. But, like, people don't appreciate that, and he's bitter about that.
Yeah. Like, he's like, I'm a genius. I create all this really great stuff, but all his great stuff turns evil.
Yeah.
As we learn. Like, he bursts in trying to present his new invention, Lil Bulb.
Lil Bulb.
Which is little helper in the comics. It's like a little light bulb guy who's kind of in the background, helps him with stuff. And this one, and so it's like Lil Bulb will do everything for you. It like finds your keys late night. It'll because it has a light bulb head.
Yeah.
It'll be like
an actual lamp.
Yeah, an actual lamp.
An actual lamp. Like, to me, like, I was like, yeah, that sounds really, really good.
Yeah, but
then again, I'm like Louie, who's like, ooh, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. But the board is like, how are you gonna keep this thing from turning evil and trying to kill everyone?
Fuck.
And Gyro tries to defend Lil Bulb, like, not all inventions turn evil.
Yeah.
But Lil Bulb does the, like, kill.
Yeah,
like,
the cross the neck.
Finger across his throat, like, and waving his fist threateningly at the board member.
He's like, what is he doing?
Yeah, he's like, what is he doing? Waving. He likes you.
It's like, no, Gyro.
No, Gyro. And so, so they won't fund him.
No.
And, Scrooge kind of, like, hurts him out. Like, don't worry, you'll think of something.
He's so encouraging, though.
He is.
He's like, it's okay, like
because Scrooge does like Gyro.
Yeah.
And we learn that he does like Gyro. He likes Quack Faster. Like, they're nuts, and he loves them.
Yeah, he loves these people. Yeah. They probably, like, brought at least some brightness into his life for the past 10 years.
Yeah. And Gyro's like... He's like, Lil Bulb is something great. I'll show you all. And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
and,
like, I'll close the door now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And Louie's all like, holy shit, an invention that does everything for you. How can you say no to that?
I feel it too. I'm like, I would buy that. But, it's gonna go
and Scrooge,
horribly wrong.
Yeah. And Scrooge is like, nah, value of hard work.
Yeah.
And, like, he's like, saving money. My board is, like, are the only people cheaper than me. The only people I trust. And his board is like, yeah, and on that note,
you've been fucking up with your money, boy.
He's like, he said they want to talk about the unnecessary spending at the money bin.
And Scrooge, like, loses it.
It's really defensive. he's like, necessary. He's like, I don't spend like 1 penny more than I need to.
Yeah, I fucking love that contrast though.
Yes.
You need to save your money.
Yeah.
He turns around like, I need 20 billion of those things. Stat.
Yeah, like we learned he's spending, like I have a list, $15 million on magical defense.
Yeah, like, fuck.
What was his response?
He's like, do you know how many death curses,
vengeance
curses there are on my head? Like,
And he
sulks. Like,
and Louie's like, I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Because thing is going to turn into a big argument between Scrooge and his board, which it does turn into.
it does.
And so Louie goes to get some soda from the
soda,
pep vending machine downstairs. And he's a dime short.
Yes, so you know he remembers vaguely what Uncle Scrooge is talking about.
Yeah. A dime.
You know, that
in
emergency.
a glass case.
The emergency dime.
Emergency dime, which another reference to the original series.
Yes.
In Fenton's first episode, Liquid Assets, he spends Scrooge's #1 dime on a payphone to call Scrooge.
And then there's like the whole episode is the hurry to get that back.
Like the second half.
The second half.
Or
Yeah.
it's the Frozen Assets episode that is about that, isn't it? Oh, it's Frozen Assets. That has him using the dime.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
we could look it up if we weren't in this room and
With
we
no
didn't
Wi-Fi.
have
There's no Wi-Fi here, but it's either I want to say it's Frozen Assets actually. It's Fenton's second episode, where he
spends a
where he
dime.
spends. Oh no, sorry. Yes, it is. Sorry, it's Frozen Assets. I think where he uses Scrooge's #1 dime to on a payphone to call Scrooge, thinking it was an emergency dime for phone calls.
It's like they keep using these things that would sort of like belong, quote unquote, to Fenton. So it's like this character is gonna get like a total remodel.
Oh yeah,
which
definitely.
I am super
I mean, yeah,
super.
he's not an accountant anymore.
Exactly. So there's no like that.
If you could
connection.
call him an accountant,
He wasn't. He counts. That is all.
Counting.
He counts. That's not a thing. You know. But yeah, like so they keep like doing these things like with Pep.
Yeah.
With like the dime.
Dime thing, yeah.
So it's like,
which are interesting.
yeah.
And so Louie spends Scrooge's #1 dime on a soda.
On a soda.
And he comes back to the boardroom just as the board members are criticizing Scrooge for spending $5,000 on a velvet pillow for the dime.
Yeah, and he's like, "How dare you? That's my lucky dime."
Yeah, lucky dime. It's not lucky in this.
Oh yeah, it's
his #1 dime.
His #1.
It was lucky in the original series.
True.
Which is not the case here now. It's his #1 dime. And it goes into the whole thing, and we learn about how Scrooge earned his #1 dime.
Yeah, it's a beautiful art.
It's like this cool music,
Yeah.
and we see it's the story from Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. A very young Scrooge worked as a shoe shine in Glasgow, where he worked like super hard on this one dude's like cement block shoes.
Yeah.
They're like caked in mud. And the guy, this jackass, gave him an American dime. Which is, but that dime inspired him to move to America and start his fortune. Which is like the whole reason he exists. And Louie spent it on a soda.
And like, as he's like hearing the end of this, you hear like Louie slurping.
Getting louder.
Yeah.
And find my fortune. It means more to me than every bit of bullion in my money bin.
And interesting to note, so in Life and Times, it's the time period that Life and Times is set is in the past, like very much so in the past. Scrooge, when he makes his #1 dime, it's like 1860 something or 1870, around that time, or maybe 1880. I get them confused, but it's very 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 much a long time ago. And we see later in the comic that Scrooge is well into his late teens when the Statue of Liberty is barely being built.
Yeah, that's
so that's very old. In the comic, Scrooge is like, by the time Scrooge meets Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Donald as adults, he's like in his 80s. And so in this, Scrooge is obviously much younger. When we see in that flashback, in that bit of those pieces of flashback,
he's tiny.
Yeah, he's a little baby boy. When he comes to America, we see like the picture. He's clearly it's clearly much later in time.
Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty's already been built.
Yeah.
So Scrooge is not as old as he was in the comics.
So I wanted him to be 150 canonically, please.
So I'm not sure how old Scrooge is, but he's clearly not as old as he was in the comics. Because Statue of Liberty was already built, and he's still, like, young. He's, like, 13 is around the time when he comes to the U.S.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And so, so just a nice detail that he's not as old, and it's not as in the past, and...
So, like, things are going to be updated.
Yeah, the timelines make sense.
Yeah, that's good.
So Louie realizes...
I fucked up.
He's like, I fucked up so bad!
Yeah, shit. Like...
So he needs to find a way to get the dime back.
Mm-hmm. And he, like, bolts, out of the meeting again.
Yeah.
And he tries to, like, use the elevator, right? But this is, like, the gag that goes on.
It's the guy who, well, first he has to get... The elevator's taken, so he has to go all the way down, and the guy who's collecting all the change from the vending machine takes the elevator back up.
Yeah, and he's, like, listening to music, so he can't, like, hear him, like, yelling and stuff. It's the best. My favorite gag is, like, the stairs gag. Like, it's the best.
The money bin is, like, 60 stories.
Yeah.
And Louie has to go up those stairs, like, 4 times.
I know.
I just be like, no.
Fuck,
like, I'll be dead anyway, so.
Bye.
But, oh, we forgot to say, in between this, there's, Dewey and Webby trying to get the librarian Quackfaster to tell them stuff about Della, but instead she sets them on, like, these trials in order for them to get the information they want.
Yeah, like, they have to be worthy of it, right?
Yeah. So first she's like, have to learn, like, the library card catalog, like, organized.
God.
And so they're doing that.
Yeah, they're like, at first they're pretty cooperative, because they do want to know, you know?
Yeah.
Dewey's a little frustrated, but he's still like, okay. Like,
yeah, he's like, fine, okay. So at this point, he's still going along with the weirdness. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, so Louie has to run up and down the stairs, and he eventually sees that the vending machine coin guy deposited the coins in a room.
Yeah.
It's locked.
Yeah, it's locked.
With this, like, coin sorting robot thing?
Yeah, it's like a barrel-looking thing, and it has, like, multiple arms.
With, like, claw-grabbing arms.
Yeah, and it's, like, it grabs, like, the cards and it dumps them in. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, I have to, like...
Break in.
Yeah. So I love that he's looking up, like, a YouTube video, I'm assuming, to do this.
How
like,
to pick a lock.
Yeah, but, like, my favorite thing is, like, it goes into an ad.
Halfway through. And it's the Ottoman Empire thing. We see Glomgold. They're making a Ottoman for Glomgold.
Yes, fuck. And it's like, was it like a clip of it, or was it like the entire show?
It's clips.
Because once I got an ad that was legit an episode of something. It was a 40-minute ad.
It could have been that, because Louie finishes it later.
Exactly. It was a fucking 40-minute ad for some dumb show.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even skip the ad. So I was like, you know what, YouTube, forget it. I'm just gonna close. Bye. Like, no.
But, so it goes to ad, and he's like, oh, god damn it. But then he sees Gyro walking by, talking to himself. With Lil Bulb, and he's like, oh shit, I could use Lil Bulb.
Yeah.
But then Jared goes in the elevator and goes all the way up. Or down, I think it goes down.
Down, yes.
Yeah,
to the
lobby.
I think it has like an L for like lower.
Yeah, the lobby. And so Louie has to go all the way down the stairs to get to Gyro, and he's like out of breath. And he cons Gyro into giving him Lil Bulb.
He does.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Scrooge McDuck's super rich nephew. And,
like, I love it, like, Gyro is ready to kiss ass for funds. Yeah. Like,
he is.
Yeah, he's ready.
Sir.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this. Like, I'm gonna be a scientist. I also am preparing myself to kiss ass for funds for my research eventually. Like, fuck. But before that, I have it written down here. When Gyro's talking to himself, he says these iconic words that as soon as he said them, I turned to Anna and was like, my god. Because what does he say, Anna?
He says blatherskite, which, as any
OG Ducktales
fan will know, is Fenton's catchphrase.
Yeah.
It's what activates the Gizmoduck suit.
Exactly. It's like his mom also says it too, but it's like
so it looks
his
like,
thing.
Yeah. So it looks like here Gyro introduces the blatherskite, which is different. I'm interested in seeing where they go with that.
Yeah, because like in this episode, like I said, like there's 3 things that like belonged-ish to Fenton, and now they're not his.
You're right.
So it's like I'm very excited for Fenton, but at the same time I'm like, how is it gonna connect back to him?
Yeah.
What is happening?
He invented Pep.
It's like
he invented the soda Pep.
Yeah, because like we know like for sure like him and Gyro work right together.
Yes, he is going to be Gyro's research assistant.
Exactly. So it's like
he's gonna help him build the Guzmaduck suit. Spoilers.
We're assuming. Spoiler. I mean, you would already. You're not gonna listen to us and then watch the episode. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm assuming you watched the episode.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while. Watch it if you haven't.
But yeah, so he says that, and fuck, that had me pumped.
Yeah. So Louie cons Gyro into letting him borrow Lil Bulb as a way of saying, like, I'll see how Lil Bulb works, and then maybe fund you if I like it.
And he's like, he tells him, like, don't...
Lil Bulb, don't rise up against your masters. And Louie's like,
but,
just a little robot humor. Jim Rash voices Gyro, does a great job. He's hilarious.
So
He's
the clips
so
he showed
funny.
me from him in
Community.
It's like, I was like, how is this man who does, like, this character, how is he gonna voice this sad scientist guy, chicken?
This is how.
It's amazing. I fucking love it. I also love his little outfit, to be honest. A little, like...
His bow tie,
his
like,
little vest.
Yeah, I love that they revamped his, like, weird 1940s-ish outfit that
he
wears.
looks like he would sing Barbershop in the
does,
original. Like,
he
why?
does.
Why is that the design you went for? Also, his hair is weird. It looks like a nest.
Yeah, it does.
I was like, at first I was like, is that part of his hat? I was like, no, that's his hair. What the fuck?
I don't
like it.
Anyway,
I know.
So Louie takes Lil Bulb with him to the room full of... So Lil Bulb breaks into the room for Louie, and then he kicks Lil Bulb. He kicks him into the carts full of change, telling him to look for the dime.
Yeah, like straight up. He congratulates himself.
Yeah.
Louie congratulates himself.
So Lil Bulb breaks in, and he's like, good job, Louie.
And then...
pats himself on the shoulder, literally.
Yeah, and it's like... It's then and there that, like, the resentment starts.
Yeah, Lil Bulb starts getting real mad. And, so, while Louie is, Louie sits in a corner to keep watching the Ottoman Empire show and telling Lil Bulb to find the coin.
Yeah, he's, like, vague about it. He's like, yeah, it's like a dime.
Yeah, he's like, you'll find it.
You'll find it, whatever.
And so, meanwhile, Lil Bulb, like, gets inside, like, the coin sorting machine with the big claw arms. He
like rips off some of the arms.
He gets inside of it and like gets into like the control of it and he's controlling the robot now.
Yeah.
And
he replaces like the little bulb that was on top of the machine.
Yeah, with himself.
Yeah.
And then he like builds like a body out of it, like a huge robot body. But I think before this we go back to
No, yeah.
we go back to...
It's like he just kind of like, he gets mad and then you see him like go into it and it cuts back to the library.
Yeah, okay, so back in the library, back in the archive room with Dewey, Webby, and Quackfaster. And Dewey is getting fed up now.
Yeah.
He says that he thinks that Quackfaster is stalling.
Mm-hmm. And he's just done. Like, it's like, I'm like, does she just want company? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Like,
there's a really funny line. She's like, it's not up to us to understand the archives. And he's like,
that's literally your job.
Literally your job. It's a really funny delivery. And so he gets fed up. He's like, all right, she doesn't know anything. We're leaving.
Webby's like, just like,
she just leave it. But then she gets. Quackfaster gets pissed.
No, yeah.
She's like, once you started the trials, you can't stop.
Fucking, and then she, like, takes out a...
She takes it like a fucking, like a curve, like a scimitar, yanks it out of nowhere, and chases them around with it.
It's the fucking best.
She does this scream.
Yeah.
It's an amazing scream.
Fuck.
Scream.
My favorite... Yeah, I'll put the scream in. My favorite is, like, they're on the little, like, book sorting cart.
Yeah, they're like at full speed running away from her.
It's the fucking best.
Yeah. And then so back to Louie in the sorting room. So Lil Bulb has created a robot body for himself out of this coin sorting robot, and he is after Louie now.
Yeah, because Louie has the dime. Because the dime rolls.
Yeah, it rolls over to Louie, and like it's still like I guess it's like Lil Bulb's like directive now is to get dimes.
Yeah,
just any dimes. And so he hunts down Louie. Bursts into the librry, and then Louie runs out real quick.
Yeah. At first they're like, oh, Louie, help us.
Louie, but then the robot bursts in, they're like, never mind.
I love it. And they use that, like, little interruption to get away from Quackfaster.
To get away from Quackfaster. so Louie's running all over the place. We see Gyro again because they end up in the lobby, and Louie runs past him, and then Lil Bulb like bursts out of the wall behind him like the Kool-Aid Man. And Gyro, this is where we see Gyro's like, like okay, so another robot turned evil. He has this little like notepad with a list of robots that have turned evil.
Yeah.
And these are all references. There's Lil Bulb, Robotica from the episode. How was it called?
Fuck.
I forgot what it's called. Armstrong, which is a robot in the episode called Armstrong, I think, that turns evil. And then the Time Tub, which according to the list gains sentience, and turned evil. Which is literally just like a bathtub that travels through time that apparently turned evil.
Yeah, it horrifies me to think that maybe it, like, disappeared someone.
Yeah!
Like, they're gone.
Oh,
like, this is how we know it's evil, because it just... Fuck.
And there's also a reference to the Cogs, which is a reference to the online video game Toontown from, like, the 2000s, which I never played, but I learned as a reference to that. And so Gyro's like, okay, another one turned evil. He writes the Lil Bulb on the evil side, and then runs after Louie and the robot, and Lil Bulb. And meanwhile, Scrooge is still arguing with his board.
Like, at this point, I think he's on the table.
Yeah, he's standing on the
table yelling.
Yeah.
He's like, he's making excuses for everything they tell him to cut. He's just like...
And they're like, fine, okay, if you're not going to make your own costs, we'll have to fire employees.
Yeah. And they tell him, like, oh, do you want to, like, the Quack Faster, yeah. And then, like, does it shoot to the scene?
Yeah, she's chasing them with the sword.
With the sword.
Because Scrooge is like, he's like, we can't fire. She's like, her level-headedness has, like, kept my archives, like, secure and organized.
Yeah.
And she's, like, screaming, chasing the kids with a sword. Like, don't disrespect the archive.
Oh, she's like, if you're gonna... Something about, like, being one with the archives. If you disrespect the archives.
You'll be one with the archives.
And it's like, she starts... The kids start throwing books.
Yeah, throwing books at her.
Which is, like, one of my favorite gags. Like, the fact that they throw... Like, the book that they throw is How to Disarm Any Foe.
Yeah.
And then, like, some books get put away, like, in a really cool style.
Yeah, like they throw books at her, but she catches them all. Yeah. She catches all the books and then throws them, but they all end up perfectly slotted.
Yeah. And one of them is the art of organizing.
Yeah, it was a cute gag. And then they're like, fine, okay, we'll fire Gyro then.
Yeah.
And at that point, Gyro was trying to fight Lil Bulb.
Yeah.
And Lil Bulb and Gyro's and that was earlier, but. He's fighting with the vending machine.
I know, fuck. He's so intense with that. He's like, I am...
You are a machine. Do as I command. Like, give me my fucking soda.
And that's when, like, the whole bursting in comes.
Yeah. So Gyro has followed Louie and Lil Bulb up to, like, Scrooge's office level. And apparently they don't notice all this crashing noise.
The fucking destruction that's going on.
Yeah. Because Scrooge's dime rolls into the boardroom. Well, Scrooge is saying, like, you can't fire the employees.
Yeah.
And then...
Scrooge is defending Gyro in a pretty, like, good way.
Gyro and Quackfaster, definitely.
Yeah.
And so the dime rolls in, and Gyro, who has tried to, like, forcibly stop Lil Bulb, because he's, like, on Lil Bulb.
He's like
who's
begging
10
him.
feet tall.
Yeah, he's, like, begging him to be good.
First.
Yeah.
So Gyro comes in, so... Lil Bulb followed Louie up to like the office level and he's trying to take like all the dimes and all that stuff.
He's like getting it from couches.
Yeah. And Gyro comes in like, stop, like you're not evil.
Yeah.
And he picks him up. And Lil Bulb picks him up. Yeah.
Scans Gyro.
And it says like
I forgot what
Gyro like scientist, like Gyro Gialu's like scientist, inventor, father. And it was like a sweet little moment, but then it's like dimes. And he just flips him over and sucks all the dimes out of his pocket and then just throws him on a couch.
Yes! He's just like erect, like on the couch.
Yeah,
like,
and then at this point, he tries to take the dime from Louie, and the dime rolls out of his hands and into the boardroom. And Gyro has tackled Lil Bulb at this point, and he's like holding on for dear life. And Lil Bulb bursts into the boardroom as Scrooge is in the process of defending him.
Yes,
saying like he's like you may think like the people that work here are crazy and weird.
Yeah, like,
and then Gyro bursts in, And he's like, everything under control.
Yeah.
Definitely not evil.
And then, like, at that moment is, again, I guess I'm sort of keeping track of this.
Yeah.
Scrooge, like, turns and he, like,
yeah.
does, like, a really, like, shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, like, you know, if you fire them, this is what's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna go.
Yeah, he's like,
they're gonna lose it.
Yeah, he's like, okay, everyone who works here is crazy, and if you fire them, they will definitely seek revenge.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be bad. Like,
yeah, and I'm like, they definitely
They
will.
would.
Holy shit, they
Gyro
will.
is
He will purposely make something evil to
Exactly.
fuck them up.
fucking, he's bitter in a way that, like, I get. Like, he's like, you know, like, resents the fact that people don't appreciate his stuff. And it's mostly because, like, he doesn't set out to, like, make them evil.
Like, he's really hurt that his things turn evil.
Exactly. Or maybe
It's
I'm just
very
making
sad.
things extra angsty for myself.
We go back to Dewey and Webby in the library. Like they're still throwing books, but then Dewey has one book left, and he's threatening to like crease a corner of the page. And he's like telling Professor, like, tell me about my mom. Like, enough stalling.
Like you know, like, I'm here for one thing. Like, you're just. Was it this line? Like, oh no, never mind. The whole like, how much of this is like getting your job? Yes, later. Okay.
But then she tells him to, like, look at the book he's holding.
Yeah.
And it says...
The Life and Times of Della Duck.
Yeah, which is, of course, a reference to Life and Times, a Scrooge McDuck comic. A very cute reference. But...
There's nothing there.
It's blank.
It's empty. It's blank. It's like...
Except...
For, like, a code of numbers. And then Webby's like, oh,
it's
I
a library
that.
code.
Yeah.
And so they go to that area, and they see that the books are out of order.
Mm-hmm.
And so they start organizing them. They hear Quackfaster, like...
Yes.
Her voice is just like, she's like, use your training.
It's like her voiceover. It's just like, where is she? It's so mysterious.
Yeah. And Dewey's like, okay, how much of this is us doing your work for you?
She's
and
like, about 50%. Yeah, about 50%.
Like, very mystically, like, about 50%. It was really funny.
I love it.
So they organize, they put the books in their proper places.
She probably, like, disorganizes them herself.
Yeah, it's on purpose, because like, you have to be worthy to know the shit.
God. Did she get out? Did she live there?
Probably not. She probably stays there the whole time.
Yeah, like, fuck.
Jeez. But, yeah, so they put all the books in their places, and, like, it's, like, major, like, secret spy shit. Because, like, a light appears and travels through the ground to, like, and then a secret panel opens up.
Yeah, and the panel has, like, a...
It's like a hand thing. Like, a hand scanner thing.
And he, like, Dewey puts his hand and, like, pricks him.
Yeah.
And at first he's like, what the fuck? Like, what is this?
But then, like, a little robot voice is like, McDuck family DNA confirmed.
Yeah, and, like, it opens this door.
To, like... this insane room.
Yeah, it's like a museum.
Yeah, it's like a museum.
It's a museum.
To Della Duck.
Yeah. It's
made by Scrooge.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like,
yes,
there's statues.
There's too much stuff. Like, there's a really interesting statue that has no head or arms.
Yeah.
And it has, like, a Greek-looking robe thing on.
And it's kind of like if it was, like, one hand is reaching out.
Yeah. And one reaching behind.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of like star and space and moon motifs in this room. Yeah. The whole ceiling is like stars.
Yeah, and it's very pretty. And
it's
also like horse stuff. I also noticed.
Yeah, also horse stuff. Like there's like tapestries.
A big old painting.
Yeah,
of
huge portrait of Della in her pilot uniform on the wing of an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made me sad. Also, I don't know if you mentioned the theme that you told me about.
Yeah, throughout this episode, there's this really nice, sad theme that plays whenever Della is brought up.
Yeah.
It's really nice theme. I hope they release it, like, somewhere. Or
noticed
someone gets it.
I probably will.
Yeah.
When Dewey first asked Webby, like, it's playing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's whenever Della's brought up, we hear it.
Damn. I love these themes.
And this letter that's framed in this place.
Yeah, it's Della apologizing for taking the Spear of Selene.
Yes, she says, it's a letter from Della to Scrooge. She's like, Scrooge, I'm sorry. I've taken the Spear of Selene. I'm sorry, Della.
And it's like, it's framed, and it's, they're like, Webby and Dewey are both like, Dewey was like, I'm gonna tell, like, my brothers about
when
this.
they first find the room, like, I have to tell Huey and Louie about this. But then they find the letter.
And Webby's kind of like, what happened? Like, did your mom betray Scrooge?
Yeah.
And that's when Dewey's like, oh, like, I don't, like, we don't know, like.
Yeah, and so they decide not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
and that they're going to investigate this themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like, it's like, fuck. That's a lot for a kid to take in, to be honest.
Like, oof.
And
then,
since these episodes are out of order, right?
This one is in order, technically. It would have, this episode should have been after the Huey episode.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I was like, it would have been, like, further development, but no, then it's good development.
Yeah. And then back to Louie. There's a bunch of shenanigans, like the dime rolls down into the money bin, and Scrooge has to go down to it and get it.
Yeah.
Gyro realizes that the reason why Lil Bulb went evil is
because he put a 75
watt bulb instead of a 50.
Yeah.
So Lil Bulb literally went mad with power.
I fucking loved that so much.
It was cute.
Also just kept reminding me that I need to buy a light bulb for my desk lamp. I was like, shit, I need to put that on my list.
Oh my god. But,
and he replaces him, and then, like, Little Bulb comes out of
the big robot, and he looks like he's alright. He's not evil anymore, or not as evil.
Yeah.
He's not gonna want to kill anyone anymore.
Exactly. But then, like, the rest of the body, like, of the robot...
it just tips over and dumps a bunch of dimes on Louie.
Yeah.
But, so
who's been, like, looking for the dime.
He gets Scrooge's dime, and has to, like, race back up to put it back on its pillow.
Yeah.
Because Scrooge is going back to his office. He's going back up to his office now, because the board meeting ended.
Except he also has to use stairs, because the elevator's been wrecked.
It was destroyed by a little bulb.
But yeah.
And so Louie rushes back to put it back, and it's so he's like completely out of breath when Scrooge comes in.
Yeah, and he's like, "Why are you so tired?" Like,
yeah, he's like, don't exaggerate.
Exactly, and he's like, "Fuck."
And as a reward for putting in a full day at the office, he gives Louie his #1 dime.
Yeah, and he's like...
And Louie's like, what, you're giving this to me?
He's like, don't be stupid.
He's like, don't be stupid. That's not my real dime. Scrooge keeps his real dime around his neck. It's like in this, it's like in a little, like... golden...
It's like a ring, but not really. It's around...
Yeah, it's holding the dime, and then it's in a chain.
Yeah.
It's not a chain.
I really
so
like
that. So he keeps it with him at all times.
That's
and I'm
smart.
like, thank God this Scrooge is not a dumbass who leaves his most precious belonging in an open building that anyone can just go and steal whenever the fuck they want. Which would happen all the time in the original series.
The thing is, in the original series, the dime, like, moves.
It moves around. It's in the mansion, it's in the money bin, it's in his office.
It's everywhere. Whenever you need it. Like, it'll just be anywhere.
For story's sake, it'll be wherever you want it to be.
Fuck.
And, so this one, Scrooge is smart. Thank God this Scrooge is smart. And he keeps it with him at all times.
Yeah.
Which, thank you.
Also, it makes sense, you know.
It makes so much sense. Like, he's not gonna, he's like, this place is full of lunatics. They're not gonna leave this here. Under a stupid glass case. Which means, of course, that Scrooge spent $5,000 for a velvet pillow for a decoy dime.
Yeah. Fuck. And he doesn't think that he's overspending for no reason.
I love it. Because Scrooge, I mean, his money bin is expensive. Because his board points out that he has a fully functional office downtown.
Yeah.
He just likes having the money bin. So he does spend money on insane things.
I like that because it's
realistic.
Exactly.
Because to have the money bin, it's going to be expensive to keep this thing.
Yeah.
And he likes it, so he's going to keep spending money on it.
And if you're old and rich, you're going to have some, like, things that you just want to buy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just got my direct deposit, and I'm, like, going mad with power, you guys. I bought 5 markers. Like...
I bought a dress. 2 dresses on Amazon.
Exactly. Like, we're going mad with power here.
I know.
And I feel like him being willing to spend his money takes away from that greed that, like, fueled a lot of, like...
the original Ducktales episodes, which were just like, I gotta make money, and it was much less about the adventure than Scrooge wanting to make a buck.
Yeah, like treasure.
Off of the adventure.
Yeah, like the treasure.
Which is not the case now.
No.
Like, here he's in it for the adventure, and if he makes money, cool.
Yeah. I really like that. Like, I feel like it just adds more, like, character to Scrooge than just, like, rich with money and kind of mean to his own family.
Yeah. And so the very end, we get Gyro in his lab, which is in the very, very lowest level of the money bin, like, underwater. And we get it's night. We get a Little Bulb trying to smash a cockroach with a hammer.
Because he's like
talking to himself. He's like, Gyro builds robot. Robot turns on Gyro.
Gyro controls robot.
Yeah, and then he's like, Gyro controls robot. Gyro is robot. And now has this evil look on his face, and we see him write down Project Blatherskite, which is like alarms going off.
I fucking lost it.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It is. Because it's dark lighting. We don't know really what he's up to.
It's so eerie. It's like, I mean, like, Gyro, are you good? Are you bad? What's going on, dude?
I'm sure his intentions aren't bad.
No,
but we'll see where this goes.
Exactly. I'm very excited to see where this goes, because it's like, fuck, like, you know, how he's willing to go far to be recognized.
Yeah. We'll see how far he's willing to go, though.
Exactly.
But, so that's the end of this episode. We have more questions now than ever before.
There's a lot.
Yeah. But we're really excited for the next episodes. Obviously, Beagle Birthday Massacre already came out, but we're excited to review it.
Yes.
Because there's obviously a lot of stuff in there, too. And, so thanks for listening.
Thanks you for listening.
We don't have any questions or anything. Obviously, we're recording the same day as the last episode, so everything's the same. You can find me at MightyAnt at tumblr.com.
You can find me at LoveTheInsane at tumblr.com.
Contact this podcast. If you don't want to use our Tumblrs, there's the podcast Tumblr, Amores Podcast, or our email, which is also amorespatospodcast at gmail.com. And this will all be in the show notes as well.
We have a Twitter, but we're not really active.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a better schedule. Honestly, like, we're recording this in the same day, but I'm not sure when it's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm
see.
trying my best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, hope you keep listening.
Yeah, hope to see you soon. I don't know, we don't have an outro yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Laters.
Bye.